Good morning. Welcome to Fit Body Secrets. Today I got a quick little episode. Let me get myself live on Instagram. Let me just give it a second. All right. I am live on Instagram. I'm live on YouTube, live on Facebook. Good morning, guys. Happy 25.1. As mentioned, I figured I would come on here this weekend. I was going to do it last night, but honestly, I was just not feeling great yesterday. It was a really busy day. And I didn't even get to watch the announcement until about 4:30. But wanted to put some thoughts out there for those of you guys out there that are going to be doing the open, whether you're signing up for the open or you're not signing up for the open and you're just doing the workout in the class. I wanted to give you guys some things to consider today. So if you're on Instagram or you are on Facebook Live or YouTube Live and you have any questions or you already did the workout, feel free to share your thoughts on it. But I'm going to give you guys maybe a little bit of a different look at this workout, because what I'm seeing already, and I see it every single year, is a ton of people posting download my 25.1 strategy guide and check out these tips and put these tape lines here and try and do your burpees this way. And, telling you all of these things about, how you can all of a sudden maximize your score in this workout. And I'm going to be the different coach. Okay. I'm going to be a little different today. And I'm going to tell you to not think about all that shit. All right. Let's not overthink the simplicity of this workout. It is a 15-minute AMRAP. A 15-minute AMRAP where you were going to be doing some body weight lunges, some burpees, and some dumbbell hang clean and jerks. Okay. Nothing super fancy here. In fact, for a lot of you guys out there, maybe you're excited that you're I can do all these movements. This is great. But what I want to give you guys some strategy on is how to actually get the most out of this workout without overthinking the shit that people are going to make you overthink, because you're going to spend so much time worrying about, are my burpees efficient, or are my dumbbell clean and jerks efficient, or how big are my steps on the lunges? That shit does not matter. It doesn't matter right now. It really does not matter for the most people. If you're really that concerned about those types of things, then you need to really work on your fitness. I'm just going to say that right up the bat. Okay. Because that should not be the goal. So I'm going to give you guys some tips today. And if you guys have questions, feel free to put them in the chat, or if you have things you want me to touch on in terms of strategy, you totally can. So here's what I want to give you guys to think about when you're going into the open workout today. First and foremost, all right, I am a big believer in we don't test all the time. In training, if you're doing CrossFit classes on a regular basis, you should not be going to max effort every single time. You should never be burning yourself out that way. But I do believe that once or twice a week, going really hard on something, if it feels good, is what you should do. And this might be the workout of the week that you're you know what, I really want to see if I can send it today. But I want to teach y'all how to send it the right way today. Okay. So if you're going to send it today, send it today. That means making sure that you feel really good when it's your time to start. Okay. So I know that a lot of you guys are probably going to be doing it in class or Friday Night Lights. There's going to be a lot of heats and a lot of stuff. Okay. So making sure that's that. The second thing is as I was getting into, this might feel a little bit different if you've never done it before, or even if you've done it before, there is going to be a few more butterflies in the belly, because now there's pressure, maybe you have a judge and they're holding a clipboard, but it's still just a workout. You're just doing a workout. That's all you're doing. Nothing else has changed. There's just somebody there watching you, holding you to standards. And if you're somebody that practices good standards on a regular basis, that shouldn't feel scary. It should just feel like you have this pressure, like somebody's watching you do something. Okay. So just allow yourself to just do the workout. All right. All right. So my first tip that I wrote down here is, and I kind of already started talking about this, is stop trying to learn new party tricks. Okay. It's a burpee over a dumbbell. It's a dumbbell hang clean and jerk, and it's lunges. All right. So you're not going to develop so much more burpee efficiency right now by trying to practice different strategies. However you normally do these movements is how you should be doing them today. If you want to practice getting better at burpees, then guess what? In your training on a regular basis, you can start playing around with different strategies. Start playing around with stepping up versus jumping up, or jumping up versus stepping up, or doing a 2-foot, whatever. You want to practice that stuff, do that in training. That's not time to do it today. Today, you want to show up with whatever you are most confident in. However you normally do your burpees, however you normally do your dumbbell work, however you normally do your lunges, that's what you're going to do today, because that's what your body knows best. Okay, we're going to talk about pacing on that, but do them the way you know them the best. Second thing, let's talk about pacing. I don't even know if it's the second thing. I just said second thing. We're just going to call it fifth thing. It's probably already been 5 things. Let's talk about pacing on this. When I talk about how you normally do your burpees, how you normally do your lunges, how you normally do your dumbbell work, that all matters. But what you're going to feel is a little bit more adrenaline, just like we all get when we first feel the clock counting down in that first round. I don't want you to think about 3 burpees and 3 dumbbell hang clean and jerks. I want you to think instead about the overall accumulated volume. So if you made it through the rounds of 21s, that would be 84 burpees, 84 lunges, and what is that? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. So it's 210 feet of lunges, right? That would be about 11 reps a minute without including the lunges, okay? So rather than looking at this like it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, I want you to think about the overall volume accumulation. All right, could I maintain, 5 burpees and 5 dumbbell hang clean and jerks on the minute for 15 minutes? Because if you did that, look at how many reps that would get you. That would get you somewhere in the 18s to the 21s without the lunges, okay? So now knowing that, when you're pacing yourself for that first set, think about that larger number and start off thinking about, I'm going for 50 burpees and 50 dumbbell hang and clean and jerks for time. I'm going for 60 or 70 dumbbell hang clean and jerks for time, because that will typically help you slow down a little bit in the beginning so that you can anticipate how you're going to feel in the middle and towards the end of this workout. You're better off starting off a little bit slower and having a little bit left in the tank. If you guys watched the announcement last night, you saw Roman, like he really picked it up in those last few reps. You'll be able to save a little bit for the end of this workout. Okay, so that's how I personally think you should strategize this one, because unlike a descending ladder where the reps get lower, you have that mental thing of like, okay, the reps are getting less, I can push a little bit harder. It's the opposite. And the work is going to feel a little bit harder because the lunges aren't really going to break it up as much as you would like them to. The 30 lunges or the 30-foot of lunges isn't going to take very long, maybe 10, 15 seconds. Okay, so this is really a burpee workout. At the end of the day, the dumbbells, what I'm going to talk about next, but it's really going to be about the burpees. On the lunges, try not to move too slowly on those. I think just trying to find a nice smooth pace because they are kind of like a little bit of your rest. And my biggest thing is always be moving. So even if your burpees are slow, even if your dumbbell clean and jerks are slow, try to minimize your time where you're not making forward progress. I love liking to use the analogy of running. Okay, so like if you're running and you start walking, that's better than if you just stopped and stood still, right? So if you're like slowing down, that's okay, but just try and keep moving because that's going to get you through. And then towards the end, we'll talk about that in a second. Before I do that, let me just touch on the dumbbell clean and jerks because that's one more movement. So the cool thing about this workout, like I said, is it's accessible for everybody. The dumbbell may be a little bit heavier for you, or maybe it's like a toothpick for you. Know who you are as an athlete. And if you are finding it's a little bit heavier, don't be afraid to do a jerk on every single rep, just making sure that you're finding that lockout with the dumbbell and your knees to save your shoulders a little bit. And if you're not, like trying to press, and you can even alternate between both. Like that's probably what I'll do. I'll probably do some presses and some jerks. If I'm finding that I'm slowing down in the presses, I might start jerking. Whether it comes to alternating or not, again, what would you normally do in class? What would you normally do with this movement? If you've never done it before, maybe practice a few, maybe doing, trying to alternate. If you're not very coordinated, switching hands in the air, you might prefer to do maybe every 3 reps you're switching or something like that, so that you're not finding yourself wasting a lot of time in the middle trying to transition the dumbbell. I would try and keep a rep scheme if you're sticking to like staying on one arm. So obviously the 3s, you're probably going to do them all in one arm if you're doing that. And then maybe like your next round, you're doing 3 on the opposite arm and then 3 on this arm. And then you're like always starting on the opposite arm to kind of keep yourself even. But it's up to you. If you have a stronger arm and you want to strategize it that way, that's fine as well. You could totally do that. The last thing that I want to touch about on today, because like I said, this one is all about you guys just understanding like there's nothing special about it, okay, is in that last round, whatever round you're in, whether it's the 15s, 18s, 21s, wherever you're at, the 12s, I want you to send it. I want you to send it on that last set of dumbbells, that last set of burpees, because that is the home stretch. And don't even think about the time. Think about, I am going to finish these reps. I'm going to get these reps done. And even if you don't, you pushed as hard as you could to finish those last few reps, because those are going to be the reps that count the most. All right. So I'm going to just go ahead and look at Instagram to see if you guys have any questions. Congratulations, Miss Debbie. 179 reps, 1 rep shy of finishing the cleans for 21. That's awesome. But again, guys, this one, really do not overthink it. Don't get yourself into this place of like, you have to really like be freaking practicing new burpee strategies. I've been seeing so much shit already. Like, just don't try and change what the workout is. Just keep the workout simple. It's simple, it's effective. You're going to get a really good workout in. You're going to have fun, and that's it, because we got 2 more workouts to do. So that's what I got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys go out there and crush it. If y'all send me over your scores, I would love to hear if you guys used any of my strategies today. Again, like I said, I am not here to give you fancy, because y'all don't need fancy. Whether you are just, one more thing I'll say. If you're just starting off, this is your first open, or even if it's not, make sure before you start, practice the movements. Maybe do like 3 and 3 and lunge, like get a feel for how it's going to feel metabolically, because you don't want to go into it and feel like you don't know how it's going to feel, because then it's going to feel really bad really quickly. Okay. So this will help you pace a little bit. So don't be afraid to do a practice round or 2. Always make sure you do those practice rounds. So that's pretty much it. I guess have fun, and I will see you all next week for my normal podcast episode. And I'll be doing a second one going over 25.2. How do I do this?